What's up, everybody? Today is June 28th, 2023, and I don't know what it is, but every time I go to make a video, I have to cough. I haven't been coughing all morning. Okay, I think I'm okay now. Anyhow, it's June 28th, 2023. As you see, we are at a park. Guy's riding behind a bicycle. Yeah, so nothing's going on. We're at a park. It's already hot. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning. It's already really humid out here. Eastern Washington does not have nice weather. It's super cold in the winter, and then starting in June it starts to get really hot and humid. Not nice. So the only good thing is that because we're so far north that by the time like September rolls around, it'll probably start to cool down. Whereas in Southern California, it's still hot all the way through September, October, November sometimes. I mean, I've seen 80 degrees in December. So anyhow, but yeah, so it's hot. We're out here. We have all of our stuff. It's behind the plaything. You can't really see it. It's back there. Yeah, we got all of our stuff. We slept in a hotel last night, but that ends at 11 o'clock, so we're out here and we need to go try to get more money, hopefully get another hotel. And that's it. I mean, that's our everyday. That's our everyday. What's the long-term plan? I really don't know. We want to get out of here. We don't really like it here. And it's not just like, oh well, the weather sucks, whatever. I really don't care so much about that. Well, I mean, a little bit, but the bigger thing is not being able to find housing because it's a little bit too expensive, and not being able to find work. I've already applied for a few places, nothing. Went to a job interview, as you guys know, nothing came out of that, you know. So yeah, but I don't know where I'm gonna get a job, anywhere on the planet. And it's not even, at this point, it's not even just a job. It's getting a job with enough money. I mean, like, for example, because we've talked about, like, where to go, like, anywhere. I mean, should we stay in Washington? Should we go in to another state? Should we go to another country or whatever, right? So for example, because, like I've told you guys, we were homeless in Utah before, and the homeless shelter there was okay, but the main thing is they allowed our whole family to go there. And so we've even just slightly talked about, well, should we go back there to Utah, right? But the problem there is wages. Their minimum wage is extremely low. I think it was like, well, at the time we were there in 2020, and it was $7.25 an hour or something like that, right? And then by their laws, they're allowed to pay you less than minimum wage if you make tips. So I was doing pizza delivery, and literally every time I clocked out to go to a pizza delivery, like I signed off on a run, we call it. They were paying me $5 an hour. I was making, so say I went out on a delivery, and I had a double delivery, so I had to make two deliveries in two different people's houses, and it took me a half an hour, right? In that half an hour, since I'm making $5 an hour, I only made $2.50 in actual pay. $2.50 for half an hour of work. I mean, that's ridiculous. And so you become, if you have a tipping job, you become basically 100% reliant upon tips. And so if I went on those two deliveries and neither person gave me a tip, that's all I made was $2.50 in that half hour period. Now, of course, someone could give me $10, or two people give me $5, whatever, right? But yeah, so you become heavily reliant upon tips in that state. Otherwise, unless you just get lucky and land some kind of really good job. But yeah, so that's the minimum wage here. So anyhow, so the point is that it's not enough money. It's not like I could go there. I mean, because I could get a job. You could get a job in Utah really easily because their turnover rate is so high. Oh my gosh. When I worked at Marco's Pizza, the turnover rate, highest I've ever seen in any job I ever held in California. But it's because the wages are so low. People, employees, they're not, they don't care about the job. Well, I mean, why should you? They're paying you slave labor wages. And so like, oh, hey, do this and do that. And you're like, man, screw this job. Let's go somewhere else. maybe a little bit easier, making the same crap money. And so, yeah, turnover rate in Utah, especially at like fast food and whatever places pay you minimum wage, turnover rate is very high because it's not enough. Even $7 an hour, $8 an hour, $10 an hour. It's like nothing, And prices are so high, especially if you do have an apartment or you rent a place and you got to pay rent and utilities and all this kind of stuff. Man, $10 an hour, you're gonna have to work 7 days a week. All day. And some guys did that. Some guys, they would there was one of our delivery drivers. He would get there when we opened in the morning. I forget what time we opened, and he would stay there like 12 hours because, like I said, essentially you're just trying to make tip money. And so he would just go until in that 12 hours he was probably trying to make, I don't know, $150 to $200 in tips because his hourly pay wasn't nothing. So yeah, it's really bad. So we've discussed all that, where to go or whatever. And then the irony is, if you go somewhere who has a high minimum wage, say California, and then you have the opposite problem. Okay, minimum wage is higher, but then the prices are through the roof. And so, it's this weird catch-22. It's like you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. But even in Utah, the prices are still not. It's not like, okay, so minimum wage is literally less than half that in California, but the prices aren't half of what they are in California, so it doesn't even out. You can't say, oh well, yeah, the minimum wage is less in Utah, but the prices are less. Yeah, but not 50% less. Rent is not 50% less in California, and food is not 50%. I'm sorry. All those things are not 50% less in Utah than they are in California. And so it doesn't even out. And so, yeah, people work either 2 jobs in Utah, or they work just all freaking day trying to get... actually, I was going to say overtime, but they don't even do... That's the other thing about Utah, too. They don't have to pay you overtime for working more than 8 hours in a day. For them, I think it's 40 hours in a week. That's how it used to be in California. And so as long as they keep you under 40 hours in a week, they don't have to pay you in overtime. You could work 20 hours in a day. They don't have to give you overtime. Yeah, so Utah laws are pretty funky. So it's like, okay, well, we don't want to go back to that. The pay is just not enough. I mean, say we went there today and I get a job at wherever, Burger King, McDonald's. Well, who cares? They're paying $7 an hour. It's just not enough. It's not enough to stay in a hotel, not enough to pay rent. It's not enough for anything. And then, on top of everything else, as you guys know, Nano gets Social Security and, for his disability, and even that is less in Utah. Social Security is not standard across the United States. If you get, disability, it's not one set amount. It varies state by state because some states have like, I don't know, they call it bonuses or something. Like California is one of the highest. You get more money in California. Washington, you get a little bit more. But Utah, it's way less. And so you get less pay. Nano would get less Social Security. And that's why we left. I was working 6 days a week there in Utah, and we were getting his Social Security, and it was still not enough. We were in an apartment, and it was just not enough. He might want to go do swing now. Where are you going, bud? Oh, he's going fast, wherever he's going. And so, yeah, it was just not enough. It was just not enough. And, that's pretty much Becca's job, is taking care of Nano. It'd be ridiculous for us to try to be like, okay, me and her are going to go to work and have somebody babysit him. Well, because he's special needs, oh my gosh, that'd be through the roof. I mean, babysitting is expensive as it is, but for a special needs child, they'd be like, it's going to be like $1,000 a week or something crazy. It's like, that's how much I'm making. I might as well just watch him myself. And so babysitting is expensive as it is, but when you have a special needs child, yeah, they're going to charge you through the freaking roof. And so it's like, so basically that's Becca's job. She takes care of Nano, and and then he gets the Social Security. And so it's basically up to me to like try to earn, the rest of what we need. And so that's kind of the difficult part. And I can't do that in Utah. And so you start going through the... Huh? Why you say that? There's a bee on the slide. Oh, that's not infested. That's one bug. No, and there's 2 spiders on the other side. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely more bugs here, and than we're at. See, it's kind of weird. Becca and I, we weren't just in Southern California. We were in on the eastern part of Southern California in what they call the high desert. For everybody who knows, the Victorville area is high desert. Ranges, okay, I gotta help him get up on the slide. It ranges between say like, I don't know, 2,500 feet and like 4,000 feet or whatever. And so the climate is way different. It's very dry. It's very hot during the summer. For like 6 months of the year, it's very hot. Okay, I'm gonna try to lift here. Let me put this down for a second. Okay, I'm gonna put you guys down for a second. Put it like this. I'll be back. Hopefully I'm still recording. Am I still recording? I think I'm still recording. Oh, I'll show you the river over here. I forgot. Yeah, this is one cool thing. That's why there's a lot of bugs too. And that's why it's humid as well, because there's river. Obviously the water evaporates from the river, goes into the air. There's some people kayaking or whatever. But yeah, the water evaporates from the river, goes in the air, makes it humid. But definitely nice scenery. Yeah. In the non-summer months, you know, when it's not freezing cold, you know, I presume it's pretty nice out here, relaxing, whatever. You know, once, like I said, like September comes around, October, before it gets too cold, it'd be pretty nice. And then, you know, in the beginning of the year, before it gets too warm, it's really nice. Anyhow, so I was saying about, so Beck and I were in the high desert, in the Victorville area. I was there for about, oh gosh, I don't know, 15 years or so, because I got out in 2006. And we left in 2020, so what's that, 14 years? I was there for about 14 years. She was there for a long time. On and off, because her family would go up there and visit friends or whatever. But she was there since like the early 90s. Anyhow, the point is we got used to the climate really bad. And so it gets really hot in the summer. Not too cold in the winter. Doesn't really snow that often. And when it does, it's not a lot. Really dry, you know, really hot, all that. And so, you know, there's not a lot of bugs out there. So we're not, that's why she's kind of freaking out about the bugs, because you don't really see a lot of bugs. You don't really see a lot of bees. Like, here's another one. Oh, he just went away. There's like another bug going up to her. I don't know if you guys could see. It's kind of small. I think it's a bee. But anyhow, so, you know, in the high desert in Southern California, you know, it's not a lot of water. There's not like big bodies of water like this. And so, yeah, it's very dry. Not a lot of bugs. Not a lot of wildlife. The heat is a very dry heat. I mean, down to like, I don't know what's the lowest I've seen the humidity, but like, I don't know, 7-8%, very dry. It gets very dry sometimes. And so we're used to that. You know, there's no big trees like this. You know, anyone's from Victorville, Hesperia, Apple Valley, you know, there's no big trees like this, or they're very rare. You know, so we're not used to it. So when we see snow, or when we see bugs, or when we see, you know, stuff like that, we're oh wow, there he is. Shoot, man, the bug's flying around me. So yeah, so we lived there so long, we got used to that climate. And so, you know, you're just trying to acclimate to wherever we go. So yeah, so we're just not, so when she saw the bugs, she kind of freaked out, because we're really just not used to seeing a lot of bugs like that. The most things you see down there in the high desert are ants. Every summer, ants come out like a storm. They come out, just black ants. And then spiders. You see spiders quite frequently. That's pretty much it. Every now and again you might see a snake or something, but it really, like during the summer, it gets so hot that everything just goes and hides. It's so hot and dry, and just like during the middle of the day, you don't see nothing out. There ain't no bugs, there's no snakes. Everything is just hiding under a bush or underground or whatever. And so, you know, that's what we got used to. Anyhow, this river is pretty nice. I think this is the Columbia. Becca, is this the Columbia River? Yeah, I think this is the Columbia River. It stretches pretty far, because we were up more north. Huh? Who's in the shade? Oh, you're hot. Okay. You're from the desert, man. You complain about the heat.
I haven't been standing in the shade. I'm dying.
It's the humidity. Push Nano for a little bit. Hey, bud. Ooh, he loves to swing. But he's just not tall enough to not get up there himself. So I got to lift him up. But he's a heavy guy. He's over 100 pounds. And so, Becca can't lift him. I gotta lift him up. But then I can lift him, but then I can't like push him back onto the swing. So it's like a dual effort between Becca and I. So anyhow, that's what's going on. Someone else is coming over here. Yeah, that's what's going on. Day 270 or whatever of being homeless. We don't know what to do. We don't know where to go. It doesn't seem like this is the place to be. It's too expensive. Not a lot of work. At least not that I've been able to find. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a good spot, but we don't know where to go. We don't know whether to try somewhere else in Washington or to leave the state again or go up to Canada. Who knows? Go up to Canada. Yeah. I mean, that's not totally out of the realm of possibility, but keep in mind, because we do get Social Security for Nano, I don't know how that works. I think, because we talked to him about it, I think there's some countries where you can still continue to get your Social Security, disability. But Canada is probably one of those places because, we have all kinds of treaties and pacts with them. But still, like, do you want to move to Canada and where? And, what is the job system like up there? And then in the meantime, while we're trying to get a job, we still need to beg and, try to get hotels and stuff until we do find a place and get a job and all that kind of stuff. And, what's the begging like up there? As sad as that is, we have to think about that kind of stuff. Can we make enough money to get food and get diapers from Nano and to get into a hotel? Or do they have homeless shelters? And, it's just a whole bunch of questions, So anyhow, for right now, we're at the park. And then after this, we'll probably we're going to have to go somewhere and try to go beg and get money and just, round around in circles. Anyhow, that's what's going on. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next video.